Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX. This is a manual car. This particular car is registered AV57KUG, and mileage at the start of this brief road test is 83,802 miles. Reason for the road tests is very simple indeed. We just want the customers to see the cars that we're selling actually in operation prior to coming to see us. That way, if there's any issues relating to the car, we can and we do and we will relay them back to you. We've been on the receiving end ourselves of going for many hours in the car to go and see a car which we were told absolutely fine, only to find out it had a glaring fault which would have been immediately obvious to anyone with any mechanical knowledge, no matter how good or bad. Road test is also done on exactly the same road test route as any prospective buyer will go on if offered a test drive. So hopefully it'll be representative of what you see and feel yourself on test drive. Very quiet country roads around here, makes for a kind of nice relaxing test drive, which is quite important. So coming to the car itself, clearly if you know the background to the car, you know it's been absolutely wonderfully maintained by Honda throughout the entirety of its life, and I have to say it's immediately obvious as soon as you drive the car. It feels tight and taut. Everything's functioning absolutely beautifully on the car. To go through them kind of one by one for you, starting with the engine. Obviously a Honda 1.8 VTEC engine, cam chain driven, no cam belt services due on these vehicles. Reputation for being incredibly long lasting and fantastically reliable as well. Also fuel economy wise, amazing economy. I get over 45 out of the ones I've had. Honda claim about 43. They're quite conservative actually. Obviously it just depends on how you drive them and where you drive them. If it's pure town driving, it'll be the high 30s, I guess. This particular engine starts absolutely instantly, settles to a very smooth, even idle, is absolutely perfect in operation. It sings its heart out when it revs up. It's a lovely unit to drive. They're so sweet-natured. They really are very docile around town, but put your foot down and it just gives a lovely kind of VTEC howl, lovely intake noise on them. They really are a great engine. Temperature gauge running at a third. The car's been running for some time now, and that's exactly where it should be on a Honda car. Also worth pointing out, there's absolutely no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch on the car, smooth, positive, bite points where it should be, bites exactly as it should. Gearbox on the vehicle, as I always maintain on these Hondas, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I really do. It's so slick in operation, so easy to use the gearbox, but unlike some which can be sort of easy but lifeless, easy but they become lifeless and vague, these are just got a lovely smooth snick action to them. Beggars belief that it's actually a cable that's going through from the gear lever through to the gearbox, because it's so nice in operation. It really is. Point of the videos here is to pick up any kind of wear, any slack in it. There's nothing at all. It is absolutely perfect. So in terms of the drivetrain of the vehicle, all in very good order indeed. Steering of the car tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no warning lights on the dashboard. There's no vibration coming back through the steering wheel at all at this or any other speed up to the legal limit where I'm allowed to drive. And it feels crisp and tight in hand. There's no slack in it. It feels absolutely spot on. It's a lovely power steering system. It's quick, it's direct, it makes the car seem incredibly agile and sort of pointy in the way kind of with the handling. It's a wonderful setup, and it complements the chassis absolutely brilliant, which is obviously begging to have a good steering system because it's so it's so precise as well and so quick to change direction. The chassis of the vehicle, in terms of kind of the suspension components, I can't feel any noises, any secondary clunks or bangers coming from underneath that shouldn't be there. Obviously you'll hear it going over bumps like there, but what I'm not getting is those horrible secondary kind of light tappy mechanical noises that normally are things that little kind of anti-roll bar drop links and rubber bushes, but there's nothing on this one. But as I said, given its history, you'd expect it to be good, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. Very comfortable cars to drive along these sorts of roads, but it's the agility of the car that it's a genuinely fun car to drive. So many cars in this class, you know, they're designed to be kind of worthy and spacious and, you know, practical. You know, this car's all of that and more. You know, it's, you know, the biggest boot in its class. Has got more rear legroom than any car in its class. You know, so it's got practicality completely ticked. But it's just a great car to have a lot of fun in. So if you're kind of becoming, you know, family use, having had sports cars, you're not going to feel disappointed driving the car. It's got a real verve to it. It really has. Just checking the cruise control function working exactly as it should. Also driving at speed, just listening out for any kind of wind noises that shouldn't be there, you know, where you might have a damaged seal on a door or windscreen or sunroof, but all very quiet in here, exactly as it should be. Brake pedal on the car is good, and it should be, because when we first drove the car we noted it did have a little bit of vibration coming back through the brake pedal. So we've taken the it wasn't much, it was there though, and the discs actually were in very good condition, but they must have been slightly out because you know, we've changed them. It's got brand new front brake pads and discs, and there's nothing at all. You know, the pedal's absolutely perfect, as you'd expect. Obviously quite costly, but it's been done, so that's something you're not going to have to do for a long time yet. This is so nice to drive, even by, you know, much more modern standards. It's a cracking car, it really is. Looking around inside the car, you know, it's probably my favourite bit of the vehicle, in all honesty, and I love the looks of it externally, but inside, great place to sit, lovely driving position, beautifully built dashboard, not a murmur, squeak, buzz or anything from it at all. They build these things brilliantly well, Honda. EX specs, obviously we've got the big high-up sat-nav system there, all working exactly as it should. Dual zone climate control system, which is pumping out cold air, that was checked earlier as well. But all working fantastically well. But it's just so interesting to look at. You know, more often than not, again, cars in this class tend to be the same sort of thing. You know, you've got your normal speedo binnacle, information binnacle directly in front, and then a centre stack there, and they're just variations on the same theme basically. Whereas this could be nothing other than a Civic, and it's all the better for it. That doesn't mean everyone's going to like it, and I'm kind of glad about that. It does polarise opinion, but I think it's brilliant. It's also immensely practical. I mean, the fact is, you've got a high-up speedo readout there, digital readout, which is very easy to take the information in. But that also means you can keep your eyes on the road ahead, pedestrians, speed cameras, speed limits, that kind of stuff, without having to take your eyes off the road to take the speed in that you're actually travelling at. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant the way it works. Next to the speedo, you've got a little rev warning light, just to say approaching the red line, and a little econometer, which again just sort of suggests that, you know, you're either driving very economically or you're not, basically. But, you know, it's a bit of it, you know, it's there, it helps. You know, I never really use them, to be honest with you, but it's all working perfectly. Then down below that, you know, more conventional, but still not entirely conventional. It's kind of like a hologram effect. This huge rev counter with an information display system built into the middle of it, so you can check MPGs and who's got the seatbelt on or not, that kind of stuff, and your trip meter. But then to either side of that, your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge, and then around the rest of the dashboard, just various other functions, climate control, and, you know, the air conditioning system can be operated in a multitude of ways, but all working exactly as it should. As I said, I am biased because I love these things. I've owned loads of them and loved every last one of them. They are just wonderful vehicles to drive. As I said at the start of the video, the whole point of it was to pick up on any issues on the car. Genuinely, you know, as I said, given the history, you wouldn't expect there to be much. There's nothing at all. You know, the only thing we found, which was that bit of brake tremor, is now gone because obviously the brake pads and discs have been done. So aside from that, whoever's lucky enough to buy this car will be buying a very, very nice car indeed. As always, if I've missed anything on the video, don't hesitate, please do give me a call and I'll happily answer any questions you might have.